Dark Game, the finale. Now, every single previous chapter of the Dark Game book has been a reference to past experiences that made me the man who I am today. Chapter 1 covers the hyperbolic time chamber, and chapter 2 was the results of the hyperbolic time chamber. Chapter 3 was a little bump in the road that I got past really quickly. Chapter 4 was when they falsely labeled me as a predator. Chapter 5 is the repercussions of why they failed. The reason why they failed to label me a predator. Chapter 6 is the reason why they failed to label me a predator was because I admitted I was in denial. But one example, because this chapter, this finale covers why you cannot trust anyone else but yourself when it comes to this thing called game. Like, if someone tries to sell you a dream saying that pussy will come to you, and it never comes to you, and when it comes to you, it's through manipulation, when they're thinking about someone else, is exactly how I taught them why you can't label somebody who already has experience a predator, okay? So, I'll put it like this. This is a quickie. This is something you need to know about why they failed, because my own mother failed to bring me down. I used to listen to MGTOW, and I listened to them about how they got played by women, how they got destroyed in divorce court. What happened was my mom falsely accused me with autism, and tried to say that I needed more than pussy, I needed friends, I needed this and that, when all I literally needed was some pussy. I was going to the mental hospital, I was cutting myself, I was doing all this shit, cause oh, why do I have a girlfriend? I'm so hot, I'm so sexy, why do I have a girlfriend? It makes no fucking sense, because that is what it is. What you see is what you get. If a guy's hot and a girl's hot and they feel like fucking each other, best believe they're gonna fuck each other, but they have to be in the position to fuck each other. Ever since I got pussy, I have never been to a mental hospital ever again, and I proved my mom. I proved my mom wrong right then and there. She even took me to court to try to put me for domestic violence, tried to say that I was a violent kid, tried to say I had a mental condition. That's the reason why we have a restraining order. Now what happened is, when I finally got into court with my mom, the judge gave me the minimum requirements because I told the judge what happened. I'm like, yeah, my mom instigates shit and tries to get me 5150, and she tries to play the victim when she's the one who angers me. And I told the judge that, I'm like, I've been wanting to group home. I've been wanting to go to a hyperbolic time chamber. I've been wanting to escape my mom's house. And he's like, do you want to fight the restraining order? I'm like, no, because I want to be separated from someone who abuses me. And the judge was laughing at my mom. The judge was literally laughing at her because he raised me because I have autism. I thought I was unique for being black and liking anime, when I ended up in an entire fucking rap league of people who like rap and anime. I wasn't unique, I was fucking basic. I was a regular black man that was in a single mother household, and the judge noticed that instantly. Is like, oh, this is another stereotype. I'm gonna give the minimum requirements because this guy admits that he doesn't want to be the same. He wants to change, and so the judge only gave me a year instead of giving me the maximum of 5 years. I clowned to my mom, and every fucking thing came into place, and these people don't realize, if my mom can't beat me, and she raised me, what makes you think you can beat me? So, to continue the Dark Game finale, what this chapter is about, this chapter is reflecting on what I just said when it comes to these people being in denial, because I was in denial when I first got clout, and when I was pretending that I had a bunch, when they were really just stalkers, is the reason why I made it out. So here's how that part of the story happened. What happened is, I dropped out of community college, and like I said before, ever since I lost my virginity, I never went to the mental hospital, and I got bored because pussy wasn't challenging anymore, so I wanted to go back to college. So here's what happened. Every time I reflect on me, what happened was, I used to listen to a lot of music back when I was in middle school, and I literally listen to some of the songs. Now people were still stalking me and they're listening to the songs that I used to listen to. It's like, dude, this is really fucking cool. And since I know that they never heard it before, and since I know they were watching me, they were like, oh, this is so brand new, this is cool. But me, I'm like, I've been slapping this. And the other back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, you may have followers, you may have constant attention. The other side of me that knew what was right said straight the fuck up that you're still not in college, you still don't have a car, you're in the fucking group home. But since my mom abused me, now that I'm older, I understand the fact that it wasn't entirely my fault, but because I admitted wrong, because I put myself in the mindset I was wrong, because of toxic masculinity, I fucking won. It is because I admitted that I wasn't doing shit, and that I've been doing this shit since I was in middle school is the reason why I was self-realizing that. And I'm like, a reminder that I am great. I made myself multi-dimensional by accepting the fact that not everybody likes anime, but I'ma still hang with you anyway. I had a best friend who was really into gangster rap, who was coming off of anime, which is why I learned how to cope with other people. That particular someone was spoiled, and I thought I was spoiled for an anime nerd. And I learned that compared to the bitches that MGTOW talked about, I will never be spoiled. Yes, women may be able to get away with a lot with their pussy pats, but one thing that they can't get away with their self is their self. You can fool everyone, but you can't fool God. The pussy pass has limitations. You have to understand that. I have defeated people when it comes to their pussy pass. I'm talking about men and women. Men who have connections based off being white. Men who have connections based off literally having a good family while I have an abusive family. Because they invented toxic masculinity is what backfired on them. They made real men tough as steel. To where the point where all the other men get jealous. When I went to that one job in Chapter 2, these guys were fucking pathetic. These were literally the most bitch-made guys I have ever fucking seen in my entire fucking life. I was getting into a good conversation with this girl. She was Snapchatting her cousin, and I was all like, yo, is that your kid? And she's all like, oh no, and this and that. And so we start flirting and we start having fun. And all of a sudden, I was diagnosed with autism. And this one guy sits in the middle of me and this girl while we're having a conversation and cockblocks me. And the other guy, literally, I just asked for this girl's Instagram. And he's like, no, but she's single. Try to use reverse psychology when it's not working. Got her Instagram because I knew she was taken. Just say it. Just admit it to yourself, guys. When you see a girl that's already hot and you think she's not talking to one, but you don't think she's talking to multiple men, is where you're fucking up. That's what competition is. And if you're scared that some other guy might come up on her, then you're wrong. You have to not only surpass your own limits, but surpass the limits of your surroundings. The thing is, what they fail to realize is this is a limit I already surpassed. But enough for that. The real reason why I made the Dark Game book was to give you little hints of how you can make it. You can. The whole premise of this chapter is reflecting on everything, letting people know that, yo, I used to be a nerd and I made it. You can too. And these people have the exact opposite mentality, but let's not go too far into that. But that's the whole reason of this chapter. I made this specifically because people used to be in my position. So if you want to know where to start, this is just a beginner's guide. This is a beginner's guide. This is why this is free game, because this is something that people experience when they're young, but I was a victim of circumstances to the reason why I couldn't experience all this at once, okay? So, going back to that guy who was slowly getting off anime, while I was heavy on anime, I was using anime as an excuse not to be social because I didn't want to socialize with people because I'm like, what's the whole point? If I can't cat back, why do I hang with the gangsters? If I can't do this, why do I do this and that? I'm like, you have to try. I kept on trying, everybody told me no, it's not gonna make it. I made it to the other side and it wasn't shit, and I wanted to go immediately back to college like I stated before and again, and that's where they had the game fucked up. You see, he's an example because he had one girlfriend that was similar to a girl that caused me a whole bunch of trouble, but she didn't. She can never even come close to the pain of me dealing with my mom growing up. So whenever these girls try to get me to be a beta male provider, I'm like, excuse me? But this one girl specifically that told me a whole bunch of trouble used the same philosophy as that one dude that betrayed me. Because she was a little bit chubby, because she literally had limited things while all my other girls had multiple things going for them, is the reason why she failed. She failed to make me a beta male provider because 1, I already have a bunch of children. 2, I already surpassed girls like her in terms of looks, and I've already surpassed girls with her in terms of looks and personality. So the whole reality of the situation is her pussy pass was depleting, but the beta male simps kept on thirsting for her, and so all she had was quantity, but she never had quality. I already surpassed her level, but because she got one lick on me is the reason why everybody started this running gag that, oh, she lost because I'm a player, but everybody in the blue pill society say, oh, she won because he still doesn't have a car, he still doesn't have his shit together, he's technically a deadbeat dad. Well, the whole time I was working, my baby mamas did not contact me, all because of the fact that they were wrong. And so what they do is they use their pussy passes to say, yo, I got my car, I got this and that, but I'm like, yep, but you got your pussy pass, and all you had to do was contact me while I was working, but the problem was, they didn't want to admit they were wrong. That's all it was. And yes, I lost a couple of children, all because of a stupid personal opinion. But the fact is that you have my child, I was working, and so they set me up to call me a predator, so I couldn't get a job again. I'm like, so I'll never be able to see my children, and that didn't happen. Because they were wrong. Because they failed to admit that they were wrong is why I won, and I immediately admitted to myself and my mom that I was childish for putting pussy on a pedestal when I just needed to get it over. Some guys are in that position in society. Some are. Okay? Now, that's how they gaslight people. She basically wanted me to treat her like a gentleman. She's like, oh, you need to take it slow. The only reason why you're doing this is because they want you for clout. I'm the only one who's gonna call you on your bullshit. And I'm all like, yeah, but you gotta understand, my good shit is outweighing my bullshit. I was depressed at the time, and she took advantage of the fact that I was depressed. So the whole freaking time, they knew that they were fucking up. They were lying to themselves. The dark game literally just explains to people the beginning of the red pill nature. Please understand that these are entry-level mistakes, okay? This audiobook teaches you how to spot out bullshit, like I stated in the last chapter with that girl who imitated the anime just to fit in. It also teaches you that men and women aren't that different. This audiobook literally states that just because you are a nerd, just because you have been through rough times, does not mean that you can't come back and that you can't make a name for yourself when your name has been slandered, okay? Because the great thing about businesses is it's trial and error. You have to go through trial and error in order to succeed in life. It's not an automatic victory like popular kids in high school. They get automatic validation, but they don't get automatic skill. That takes over time. They have cameos of shit that they can't do on the spot. If you can only do it once, you can't do it at all. That's why there's a difference between a master and a pupil. Just because people have their shit together does not mean that they're not shitty people on the inside. My mom has her shit together. My brother who abused me had his shit together. But they're all shitty people on the inside. Alright? A lot of people can't get away with material things alone, which is why the girl who kept on sending guys out to get me could never get me, because of the main fact that the way that they got their resources is shitty, and the fact that it is shitty is outweighing the fact that they have resources at all. It was my teacher in chapter 8 that taught me, if I can do it, you can too. So stop making excuses for yourself, people. Stop blaming other people without analyzing the full situation. Stop jumping to conclusions and get your life together. The majority of my old people who hate me are former selves of who they used to be. Like I stated in chapter 8, you have to literally crumple everything down and do it again. You have to be willing to start all over. You have to be willing to come out of your shell. If that is not what you're willing to do, then this isn't an audiobook for you. Because this is an audiobook of how people who make toxic masculinity rules get destroyed because they don't follow the old rules that they made for themselves. You start something and you follow it up with training, with actions, and with repetitive feats after feats after feats. Good feats, not bad feats. And if you don't know what feats are accomplishments you make in life, and they make you feel good because you worked hard in it and you didn't get it through social validation. I learned that the hard way, and I was getting jobs like it was nothing, was because I was literally charming the women that are in the office that were the managers, okay? I was taking advantage of my so-called pussy pass that I gained, and it backfired on me because when I couldn't perform the work properly, I looked like a total fucking retard. But it's because I admitted that I looked like a fucking retard is why these people who are off Xanax, people who are drunk, and people who take pictures of them when they're sleeping, when they're drunk, and act like they're their friends, but because they're desperate to have a friend at all, is the reason why they fucked up. And the majority of people are like that are the people who try to set me up, and that's why they fail. So this is the Dark Game finale. This is Blue Tricks. I hope you enjoyed this audiobook.